Love Kink.
We spoke early on in this whole pandemic mess,
Of
if you
course.
remember.
I do
And
remember.
and Adam, the band has a new album. I'm sure you know that. It's I Don't Live Here Anymore. It drops on the 29th of this month. It's your fifth album. Of course, the previous album, A Deeper Understanding, won the Grammy for Best Rock Album. And if it were me, I would have just retired after number 4. You go
Yeah.
out on top, but fortunately, you're not a quitter. Thank goodness. Did you feel any extra pressure because of the Grammy as you were working on the new project?
Not really pressure. I think I just wanted to I knew that if I was prepared and the band had songs that we liked and were worked through, we'd be fine. I didn't want to like play catch up, like basically when we weren't on the road, I was writing and demoing for this record. But yeah, we just wanted to just get better at whatever, writing songs, producing them, making them feel like the live band.
Were the songs all written before the pandemic, and did you record it during the pandemic?
Everything was basically written and recorded before the pandemic, but over the course of 18 months, we did a lot of work on it. So we were rearranging everything, and not everything was finished recording, but we had started everything. Like there weren't any new songs over the pandemic. It was all just basically working with stuff we had started.
You said in a recent interview, Adam, that sometimes you wonder, and I'm paraphrasing, how many more records you have in you. Is this the last record? Is that something you still often ponder?
That is something I ponder for sure. Yeah, who knows? But I love doing it. I think on that specific day, I was it was a real thought. I'd been away from my son, I think, for a week, and we were starting rehearsals, and it was just kind of like sometimes the joy of playing music is lost with like minutia, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, after a couple of days of us rehearsing and playing and being together, it's a huge part of my life, playing with these guys and making records. And I think it's in some capacity, it's something we'll do for a long time. But you get to a point too where you want to be doing it always for the right reasons. And as of right now, we all are. So that's good.
You mentioned your son, Bruce. How old is he? 2? Is he 2 now?
Yeah, 2. Yeah. We had a great time actually, because we were living in Lake Oswego for a few months recently, or right when I finished the record.
What?
I was
And
actually, we were
visit?
living, we should have a few times. We were downtown, but we were there for about 3 months, and we had a blast. Me and him especially. We spent a ton of time together, and it was awesome.
Do you have family in Lake Oswego?
No, we were there for some other stuff. So we were just there for an extended period of time, and we loved it.
This is a cliche, stupid question, but how has fatherhood changed you, and has it changed you creatively or musically?
I would say creatively. I mean, he loves playing with the gear and going into my little music room and experimenting. And I think it's definitely reminded me that this stuff is fun, and that like there should be always be a lot of curiosity involved in making music. And even last night I was playing him some deep cuts from Voodoo Lounge, which actually has some really great songs on it. But we were playing air piano to Out of Tears, and I was like, oh man, this song is really good. But also he was just getting a kick out of like playing air piano. And so it's just those kinds of moments that kind of remind you it's all fun.
Were you interested in music at that early of an age?
I don't even know. I mean, I feel like at that early of an age, I think we had a woman come over to my house for a birthday party, and she either had an acoustic guitar or an auto harp. And I was like obsessed with her guitar or auto harp. But I don't think it was until maybe for another 8 years where I got real, like when I was like 10 or 11 is when I got into like the sounds of the day, like of 1990, all that's in 1991. But yeah, I remember there wasn't a ton of music in our house, but there was like the staples of that era on cassettes, like Neil Diamond, Coming to America was a big tape.
Yeah.
Cats was a big tape.
The musical?
Musically, my dad loved Cats.
I finally watched the movie this weekend. It's not as bad as everybody said.
I've never seen it. Yeah, I don't know.
They worked hard on
Billy
it.
Joel. Billy
Yeah.
Joel was a big tape.
Right? Were your parents musical? Or they're teachers, aren't they?
They're both, yeah. Well, they're in some capacity both educators, yeah. But no, there was. I mean, they're not musical. I mean, my mom is probably more musical than my dad, but there wasn't a lot of music. Neither of them really played an instrument. It wasn't a huge thing in our house really growing up.
If your son 16, 18 years from now says, Dad, I want to be a professional rock star just like you, would you encourage it or would you send him to trade school?
Oh, whatever he wants, if that's what he's into, then, God bless him.
You said once that you tend to write songs from the place that gives you the most inspiration, which is feeling melancholy. Your music's not sad. Do you still feel that way?
No, I think that there's something in the music where I always enjoy. I don't really like making like somber music, sounding music. I think just when it comes to inspiration and kind of like a muse, and when you have like a song happening and you have like a idea in your mind, like a story or a painting of what that song looks like in colors, I think there's just like something inherent in that melancholy and nostalgia and whatever, like the melancholy of life, not to be depressing, but I think everyone knows what I mean. It's like,
yeah,
that's just a like a stepping off point for finding a way into the song, but I enjoy, like, a song feels complete to me when I feel like I'm singing about something personal or something, dealing with that melancholy, but the music is big and maybe positive and uplifting and grand. I like that dichotomy.
War on Drugs has a huge tour planned for 2022, and you're performing at Madison Square Garden on January 29th. When you were just starting out, if somebody told you someday you would be performing at Madison Square Garden, what would you have told them?
I would have said, what, as on the Knicks?
That's got to be super exciting, though, even as much as you've done already to perform at the Garden.
Oh my God! I mean, it's yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, it's one for the ages, no doubt. It's anytime you play in New York, it's a big deal, but this is definitely something that I think a lot of our families are going to be able to see, and our friends, and it's just like, and hopefully we have a great show. Hopefully they come out saying the music sounded great, and that we looked like we were having fun. And like, that's always the worst thing is sometimes we play these big shows or we do like something on TV, and and it'll be great, and then my mom will say something like, "Oh, you look like you were having a terrible time," and I was like, "Oh no, man!" So I was like, "Oh, I was
Thanks,
having a blast." It's just like I was just a little bashful, maybe, or like a little like focused, But
it's good to have mom to keep you grounded.
Oh, 100%. I know. And no, we're that's gonna be a great one.
Will your family join you on the tour next year?
I think, because I'm not sure. I think hopefully for little parts of it. I'm not sure. It's tough with the with the COVID and trying to keep a bubble as you tour around everywhere, and so we'll have to figure it out. But I hope at some point that he can come for a little run on the bus. I think he loves buses and he loves music, so it seems like he'd be in heaven.
Adam, thank you so much for taking the time. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Next time you're in Lake Oswego, please give me a call. I'll buy you a beer.
I will. I know. We'll go. I got some places I like to go now over there.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot. Take care.